Okay, welcome. Now begin to quiet the body, quiet the mind, to enter a practice to enhance, to actualize, to realize your divinity, your fullest potential, your innate peace, wholeness. So the legs, the hips are resting comfortably. The hands resting comfortably. And first, just take a moment to acknowledge and honor what it means to show up. The teachings are wonderful when everything is going right in one's life. You can taste, you can understand exactly what they're saying. But when situations are not going our way, how does it serve you? But every good teacher reminds us that it's only through this practice, and this consistent effort, where we have a sustained effect for the mind. So both sitting bones rooting into the floor, tailbone down, not forward or back, straight down. And your pubic bone lifting up towards your sternum. Take a few moments to feel your breath with the activation of Mula Bandha. And spend a little time to feel along your spine. And try to really get a sense of each vertebra stacking, or see if we're overly holding in the belly or the shoulders. And keep the legs relaxed. Keep the tailbone rooting down. And perhaps open the collarbones even more, sliding the shoulder blades further back down along the spine. And you feel your neck lengthening, the back of the head coming more in line with your sacrum, chin parallel to the floor. As you bring as much attention, awareness, softness, light into the heart space. These little actions, find that length of your spine again with your breath. When you feel your ears, they right over the shoulders. Open your collarbones a little more, shoulder blades a little further back, and extend even further through the crown of the head. Jawbone is relaxed. And noticing the effects, the physical layer, Annamaya Kosha. Breath body, Prana Maya Kosha. Emotional body, Manamaya Kosha. Bringing these into harmony. Now thinking this big Jnanamaya Kosha. There wasn't a doubt to make these adjustments to feel the benefits. Often it's perhaps not clear about the choices in our daily life. Sometimes we consider what in yoga is called Shreyas or Prayas. Shreyas is what is good. Prayas is what is pleasurable or expedient, fast, easy. Here's an example. The Shreyas. What is good takes time. Anandamaya Kosha, this bliss, this harmony of the more gross aspects of our instruments. So closing your meditation, for the one who's aware, witnesses, knows the physical, the breath, the mental, the intellect, the bliss. Tattvam Asi, that thou art. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay. You can stay cross-legged, maybe change up your legs, move a little, or we'll come into kneeling. When you find kneeling, make sure your big toes are together. Sometimes the knees having a bit more width helps if you are wider in your pelvis, the rotation. And try to sit right up onto your sitting bones. Try to get the tailbone to go down again. That might take a while. You might feel a bit more pressure onto the shins here. At any point, you can move off. And feel your internal core action again. Outer hips joined together. Hands can maybe rest up. Elbows hanging heavy. Come into Ujjayi. And then the hands can rest down. Ground the energy of your hands down into your legs. Feel the weight of the legs pouring into the ground. Fold the chin forward into your chest. Exhale. Inhale to roll one ear to one shoulder. Keeping that other side of the body really heavy. Through center, breathing out. Breathing in. Other side. And from the center place, when your chin is forward, start to curl the tailbone underneath you. Hands can slide on the legs as you sort of press into the hands and roll in, curl in. And then take an inhale to send the tailbone back, scoop the elbows in toward the waist. Feel your collarbones open as you make a cat shape in your seat. Maybe even looking up. And then a few times, sliding tailbone underneath, rolling in. Breath in. You might quickly feel here some limitations in the chest and how it's so easy to use the openness in the lumbar curve. So take your time to get the weight of your legs, weight of your arms, and really accentuate up through the crown of your head. And lift up out of that thoracic body. And then you can always make some circles here so you can kind of move around the spine, on the legs. Just the added challenge here of being in the seat. This frame of your arms can sort of help you roll into the shoulders. And even if that kind of tightness is there in the shoulders, you just have a different sort of orientation to gravity to work into it. Tongue is soft in your mouth. Can you even feel the space on the top palate, the roof of your mouth? Nice, and I'll turn to the side. Let's come forward and take the back of the hands onto the floor. And feel free to maybe lift up off the hips here. You can always tuck your toes as well now. As we come to the back of the wrists. You might even find some cat-cow actions here. Curl in. In deep into forearms, wrists, fingers. And the opposite action, and crown of the head. Your cervical spine reaching out of that thoracic cage. You can release the hand. I'm going to turn back forward to face you. If the toes are tucked, or if they're not, tuck them now and lift your knees and you come into a little small packet squat. Knees are lifted. You can let the knees open wide here. You have to gonna lift up through your pelvic floor and get some strength going through the legs. And we open the arms and we take this inhale as we broaden across the chest. And just go as far as you can work the balance. Exhale, allow yourself to round in, knees coming in. Wrap one arm over the other and fold the chin in. And for some of you, the heels might come lower to the ground or you feel that deeper stretch back in the hips. You inhale to open. Feel the big toes active. Exhale again as you wrap the opposite arm on top and work it in. And it's fine whatever happens in the legs, pelvis in terms of the wobbles. You're going to wake up the lower back a little more. Last one here. Nice open stretch for the chest, folding in, exhale. And bring the hands down to the mat. Come into 4-point base. And right the way down onto the forearms. As we slide shoulders toward the fingers and back toward the legs. Make sure your knees are nice hip distance behind. Maybe even tuck the toes here. Sometimes the toes turn in or out. And feel free to loosen the neck. So you might semicircle the neck as the upper arms are over forearms. Take some rotations for the head. Or gazing over one shoulder and the other. And then start to find your core body in this position. So tailbone away, pubic bone toward you. Pull the diaphragm up under the ribs. And then allow that extension through the cervical spine. Press firmly into the forearms. Next exhale, lift your hips with that slight doming action in the upper back. And slowly relaxing the head. Maybe step the feet in slightly. Maybe pedal one leg and the other. Working the weight slightly back. Just feeling what we need to do to open these upper arms. Feel into your fingertips. Draw that pubic bone further up toward your ribs. Navel back toward the spine. And lower down. Just the right forearm. Bring your left hand close to left knee. Scoop the elbow in. Same action, we'll slide a little forwards and back to get the sense of the tendons in the forearm, muscles of the upper arm, and even in the side body, the serratus anterior that need to wrap around the side of your ribs. And how is the breath? How is the jaw? And before we press up, we tuck the toes. Feel your outer hips draw together. Pubic bone towards sternum. Neck is long. When you're ready, exhale, press up, firm, pressing down into that right forearm. Send the weight slightly back. Keep the outer hips scooping in, left elbow in. Head is relaxed. And you feel that isolation. As the ribs are drawing in, those right ribs wrapping around to the front. Lower down, change sides. Scooping in. And before you go anywhere, you can always slide that weight forwards from the over the left forearm. Just even being aware of maybe how that right hand is supporting you. Check your toes or hip distance. And let up into the space through the front body. You have space in your throat, the sternum drawing back toward the spine, diaphragm coming up and under your ribs. Taking that deep inhale. When you lift up, make sure your shoulder is over the elbow. Hug right elbow in and exhale up and back. And that firm press into left forearm. Keep your left outer hip drawing in. Maybe a little more weight back into the heels. You're just feeling what's here left side. And it can be a lot. And relaxing, a few more breaths. And you lower down. Hands under the shoulders. Take a moment to enjoy some regular cat-cows or hip circles. And then measure out your arm length in a classic child's pose. So we keep the knees relatively hip distance, and we can extend the arms forward. And you feel the hands padding into the ground. Now, often what happens, maybe one arm goes a little further forward than the other. See that your thumbs are even, little fingers in the same position. And squeeze those upper arm bones in. Squeeze the hips in. Take a deep breath as you draw the pubic bone up toward the sternum. Lift the hips. And exhale, push the arms down. Downward facing dog. And keep that pressing action down with the arms. Just notice where the imbalances are, maybe. Let the head relax. Back of the neck long. Nose, bend the knees, lift the heels. Sometimes really lifting the heels up into the calves gives you a great sense of the back of the legs. Open the toes. Make sure your feet are nice and wide, accommodating your hips. And slow walk forwards to meet the hands. Folding over the legs. Let's find the elbows here. And like you're sort of pulling that skin down from the upper trapezius, framing the head. If you can find that deep relaxation, even the skin on the skull. Release the arms here. Knees can be soft. Right hand in the center under the chest. And open up back through your left arm as you work this revolving twist. And exhale, circle the arm forward, fold in and down. Left hand, either the palm or the fingertips as your right arm opens back. And feel that rotation from your upper thoracic spine. Legs nice and active. Left hip draw, right hip drawing in. Circle the arm forwards and down. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Pay attention to the sacrum lifting. Spine strengthening and opening. One more time, either side. Smooth breath. Inner legs working. And releasing. Halfway lift, lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Folding in, emptying the belly. Uttanasana. Coming up to stand, rising up, using the strength of your legs. It can be slow to start. When you arrive, find that open stance. Heart is lifted, tailbone is rooting down, hands by your side. Let's step the feet together. We'll inhale to raise arms up overhead. And then you can interlace the fingers, all except index finger. So working in the Bikram variation of half, and I have to move out of my light shade way. Find your inner thighs rolling in. Feel the balance of your feet, your inner ankles sort of pulling back toward the bone. Head is nice and loose in between your arms. Take a deep breath in as you press hips over towards your left. Use your right hand to drag your left upper arm bone up and over. And just noticing legs, hips, the hip flexors facing forward, pulling up. Come back through center. Tailbone down, take a breath in as you exhale. Press the hips out to the right. Use your left hand to drag the right arm up and over. Quadriceps pulling back to the bone, inner thighs rolling in. One more either side. Inhale, grow tall, come through center. Exhale, strong feet pressing into the mat. Maybe you pull a little more. Inhale through center, tongue is relaxed. Exhale, hips to the other way. Back through center and release the arms. And coming toward the top of the mat. 2 Surya A's, it's not classical, but it's Surya A. Exhale all the breath out. Inhale to reach arms up and overhead. Exhale, hollow your belly, fold over your legs, head toward the feet, and then maybe looking toward the navel. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine, active legs. And then ground your hands, stepping back to a plank pose, pressing the ground away in plank, looking to the point of the nose. Feet are strong and active with control, knees to the ground. Shift your shoulders over the elbows, pull the elbows back as you lay down. Always looking forward, hands move to the shoulders. Engage abdominals, active legs and feet as you lift. It's almost like a little shoulder roll happening the whole time. And then try to open the throat. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale to lower. Frame ribs, feel your triceps, toes tucking as you press up and back, downward facing dog. Strong, straight arms. Widen the feet, maybe shorten the stance. Now squeeze those upper arm bones in, those inner elbows forward. Feel your index finger, the whole flat of your palm, rooting down. And try to feel what happens as you feel every finger up into the wrist, forearm working. Spread the sitting bones a little more, listen to the breath. Feel the thighs lifting, pulling back up into the thigh bone. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the breath out, bend the knees, look forward and step to halfway lift. Inhaling Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling Uttanasana. Rising up to stand, Urdhva Hastasana, arms lift, maybe the gaze lifts too. Hands by your side, Samastitihi. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, folding over your legs. Pull the diaphragm up under the ribs. Relax the head and neck. Halfway lift, lengthen, the chest moves forward, gaze to the tip of the nose. Stepping back to plank, maybe opposite leg first. Pressing the floor away. Heart is lifted, lowering to the ground. Sending the weight forward. Active legs as you lift up into cobra. Scapular down the back. Abdominals are active, glutes active. And when you're ready, downward facing dog. 5 long, slow, deep breaths. You shorten the distance with the legs. Feel those heels lifting up into the calves. And then maybe more weight into the back of your legs. You access Mula Bandha here. You wrap your upper arm bones forward. Like you want to say to the triceps and biceps, move forward toward the thumbs and index fingers. And you feel your chest moving back towards your thighs. Another deep inhale here. Bottom of your exhale, all the breath out, bend the knees, look forward, stepping into Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Rising to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi, exhale. And then a big step out to the side of the mat. Open the legs here. Let's bring the hands behind the body. And sometimes you can even just let the shoulders get a bit heavy here when we interlace the hands. And try to feel your side waist and the outer feet, outer hips, all the way up to this sort of armpit hollow. Crown of the head long. And then the bandha is engaged. And slowly, slowly, as the arms are really nestled in, you can reach your knuckles back behind you. You're getting this sort of more engaged action for the arms, the chest. Take a breath in as you open front body more, tailbone down. Option to look up. Come forward with the throat open. So reach forward. Throat is staying open, yes. And then until you can't get any more, as if the chin is going to touch the ground, then relax the head. And here there's so much to think about. The feet, the inner legs, the ankles. Look at those little inner ankle protruding bones. Squeeze them in. These can be soft any amount. Now let gravity work your shoulders. Keep your upper arm bones squeezed in. And try to feel the whole length of your spine. Feel the roof of your mouth opening, the top palate relaxing. To come out, hands to the hips. Find your hips. Take a halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, rise all the way up to stand. Turn the heels in, toes out, finding goddess. And hands can come to the thighs. Get a little bit lower. Keep on lifting. And just lift the left heel. Really pull that heel up into the calf as you come right up onto the toes. Lowering down. Right heel lifting. Rolling up and in. Getting right into those right toes. Now both heels together as you lift. Notice we sometimes get a little weird bend in the feet. Gotta be strong into the arch, ball of the foot, and then lift your heels so that the big toes are really, really working. And then you feel the wobbles a lot more. Sometimes we rely deeply into the arch of the foot. Work with the bones. Sometimes easy to go into the flexibility. Now relax the shoulders, use the breath. Lower down, heels back, folding over your legs, bringing the hands to the ground, in between the feet. And you walk your hands back as much as they'll go, sort of toward the heels. And then from this shape, with the elbows bent, you can take a halfway lift first to find length of your spine. And then the same thing as if the chin wanted to touch the ground, coming down with that open front body. When you can't get any further, relax the head. Now maybe your head comes to the mat, maybe not. And we're just staying with the length aspect here, the opening of the upper back, the legs. Keep lifting the sacrum high. Active legs, those inner knees scooping up and in so you can work your legs deep. When it's time to come out, walk the hands forward underneath the shoulders. Strong, straight arms. Toe heel the feet in. And when you come down through squat, you might have to move a little. Those longer holds to work into the legs. Now option 2, bring the upper right arm in, hold your left ankle, open the left arm. Some of you might want to get lower around the front shin. You reach out as far as you can and then turn the hand down, thumb down, and left arm opens behind you and you find the bind. Now binds are always helpful to work deep into the core, into the groin. Jaw is soft. Neck is extending. You have the bind release. Come back through neutral. You might just like to bring your upper left arm inside, hold right ankle. It's a great place to stay and open right arm. Some of you might get low on the left shin. Really reach out as far as you can. Feel that upper arm going out and then turn the palm. You reach around for the bind. Just try to stay connected into this lower back opening. Feel this lateral broadening across the sacrum. Wherever you are, release. Feel free to lift the hips here for a moment and find a variation of wide Uttanasana or with the feet closer together. And we'll come back down once more into the seat. Finding your way down onto the back body, rolling down. What would serve you here? What is it? A bridge? Is it a twist? Something for the head or neck or your arms? A little more for the legs. Even just some deep belly breathing, the core support. Feeling this gap between the ribs and the hips, nice and even in space. Front ribs drawing in and down. All of the poses. Stay connected to the deeper layers of sensation, deep core muscles. The bandhas really help us to bring the optimum alignment into our spines and show us where we're long in some muscles, weak in the others. Ready, find a way into some final stillness. And often with these shorter practices, we can take little bits and hopefully make longer practices on our own or together sometimes. If anything, they just center the body, center the mind, and the breath. Once you begin to give up the efforts, the control, one pointed focus. The power of silence, bliss of existence. And this little salutation, the higher good, higher self. I am here making effort, reminding me of the truth. I am beyond good and evil. I don't need any desire or fear. Removing all that prevents me from appreciating my fullness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Blessed beings, Indra, Hanna, Gabby, Teresa, all who watch this recording. Until we meet again, see you soon.